Hey, welcome everyone, welcome. Looks like we're live. Are we live? We're almost live. Let's start. Come on. There we go. Uh-oh, I'm hearing an echo. Let me make sure I got all this muted. There we go. I think we're good. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the dark side of our tech love affair, the heartbreak of obsolescence. You know, it's like being in a relationship with the big tech companies. They promise us the world. I'm hearing an echo. What the frick? Give me a second here. What is happening? Muted. There we go. Ugh. Okay. I think I got that fixed. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Of course, there's no one to blame. My dog's not in charge of the audio. Coconut, you did a good job just laying there. It's all on me. But, all right, let me take two. Click, click. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the dark side of our tech love affair. The heartbreak of obsolescence. You know, it's like being in a relationship with those big tech companies. They promise us the world, but as soon as something shinier comes along, they drop us like yesterday's news. Take the iPhoneX, iPhone 10, for instance. I still never even learned what to call it. I called it iPhone X. I don't know. Anyway, it was the darling of the tech world just 6 years ago. Sleek, innovative, and oh so tempting. But now, these big tech companies are turning their backs on it faster than a politician caught in a scandal. Sorry, iPhone X, you're too old for us now. Time to go live in a retirement home for outdated gadgets. And it's not just the iPhone X. It's a whole parade of gadgets that meet the same fate. Laptops, tablets, smartwatches, all tossed aside like they're going out of style. Like it's yesterday's memes. And you know what's really tragic? It's not because these gadgets break or they become useless. No, it's because tech giants choose to stop supporting them. It's like we're in a twisted reality show, Tech Survivor Obsolescence Edition. And those big tech companies, they're the judges deciding which gadget gets to stay in the game and which gets voted off the island. Sorry, MacBook Air. You're not getting a rose this week. Time to pack your circuits and go. It's not just phones, it's cars too. Every few years, we're enticed to trade in our gas guzzlers for the latest electric vehicles with more bells and whistles than a circus parade. Save the environment, they say. But at what cost? The production of these new cars, the mining of rare minerals, the disposal of the old ones, it's a cycle of environmental destruction, masquerading as progress. So let's face it, folks, our insatiable appetite for new tech is like feeding an insatiable monster that's devouring our planet. If we're serious, right? If we're really serious about saving Mother Earth, we need to start treating our gadgets like we're in a long-term relationship. Love them, care for them, make them last. This technological heartbreak is not just bad for our emotions, it's terrible for the environment too. When these gadgets get abandoned, they end up in landfills, leaking toxic chemicals and becoming a ticking time bomb for our planet. It's like a breakup that leaves behind a trail of destruction. And let's not forget the impact on our wallets. We invest in these gadgets thinking they'll be with us for the long haul, but then they're abandoned like a prom date, left standing by the punch bowl. Sorry, you're not the latest model anymore. No support for you. Now I get it. Technology evolves, but progress, it is inevitable. But here's the thing. If we can send rovers to Mars and build space stations, surely we can support our gadgets for more than a few measly years. I mean, come on, tech companies. It's not rocket science. It's just caring for the products we buy. So, my fellow tech enthusiasts, Let's demand more from these big tech companies. Let's tell them we want gadgets that last, that stand the test of time, that don't become landfill fodder before they've even hit their prime. And as consumers, let's be smart about our tech choices. Let's resist the allure of the shiny new gadget. Opt for devices that have some staying power. Let's show these tech giants that we're not just disposable consumers, but conscious consumers who care about the environment and the products we use. Because at the end of the day, it's not just the latest tech trend, it's about how we treat our gadgets and our planet. So let's break up with obsolescence and embrace a future where our gadgets are supported for more than a fleeting romance. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show, best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Yeah. Oh, is that? There we go. There we go. Okay, we're good. So what do you think about that? I was shocked to see that the iPhone X is not going to be supported with the latest update. The iPhone X, the iPhone 8. I actually have an iPhone 7 around here somewhere. No longer supported by Apple. And that's the thing. These are still good phones. They still work. But Apple is saying, no, we're not going to support it, which is going to make it vulnerable to hackers. It's going to make it vulnerable to spyware. It's essentially making the phone worthless. You know, if you can't get updates, if you can't get security updates on your phone, well, then you got a big problem, right? But, yeah, here's the story. If you own an iPhone X or iPhone 8, you need to upgrade before September, experts say. Apple's set to release iOS 17 in September with numerous new features, but it will not be supported by the iPhone X and iPhone 8 models. Tech experts advise users of these phones to upgrade or trade them in before September to avoid losing value. The trade-in value for a mint condition iPhone X is only around $190, while the iPhone 8 is valued at $90. And $152 for the iPhone 8 Plus. The lack of iOS 17 support also leaves these models vulnerable to security risks. The new iOS update includes various enhancements like improved autocorrect name drop for easy contact sharing and design-driven contact cards, among other new features. But with all those features, now we got to toss out these phones. The iPhone X is like 6 years old. That's crazy. That's crazy that it's not being supported. You know, like my laptop right here and the computer that I'm streaming from, I think, let me look. I forget. Yeah, I'm streaming from a 2014 iMac. And my laptop here is a 2015. They're still supported, but like the 2012 model and everything, they're no update for you, you know, just like moving on. And I don't know that we can do anything about this. I mean, we can't really do anything about this. One of the things that I like about like iMacs, Apple computers, is they tend to last a lot longer than your PC. Like I say, I'm using computers that are like 9 years old, and they're still working great. PCs don't seem to, Windows operating systems just kind of seem to fall apart after a couple years. But yeah, for the environment, you know, you see all these protesters out there talking about how the environment, and they all have brand new phones. They're all talking about it, and they're all driving around in brand new cars. And I think holding on to our products for a little bit longer, in the end, is better for the environment. But I guess it's, you know, do what I say, not what I do, right? It's more of that hypocrisy, and hypocrisy is everywhere, right? It is what it is. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. We got a good show. If you like the show, hit the like button. You can do it. You can change your mind at the end of the show and take it away if you like. That's okay. I do appreciate the people that do hit the like button and leave a comment. That lets me know that you're a real human being and you're just not a bot. I do this for the interaction with human beings. I can find a bot on my own. I don't need to put together a whole show just to send it up to bots. So I do appreciate the comments and the likes. I will be going through all of the comments in the after show when we're done. But first, let's get to a couple stories real quick, shall we? And this first one, it involves everyone's favorite billionaire, Elon Musk. X, formerly Twitter, is suing the CDDH, calling them a fraud. It's a social media drama with both sides pointing fingers, saying, you're disingenuous. No, you're disingenuous. So X is suing the Center for Countering Digital Hate for investigating hate speech on the platform. X claims CCDH violated its terms of service to access data. And then CCDH accuses X's owner, Elon Musk, of trying to silence criticism rather than addressing hate and disinformation on the platform. The lawsuit seeks damages and bars CCDH from accessing certain materials. So here's the thing, and I don't know why we haven't figured this out yet, but often organizations will pick a name that you just can't really argue with, right? This is the, what did I say? This is a think tank, right? And anytime there's a think tank, your antenna should go up, right? But the Center for Countering Digital Hate, well, who's against digital hate, right? Nobody. When you have a name that you can't really argue with, often that's a cover for something else. It's kind of like Antifa, right? They're anti-fascist. And it's like, well, how can you be against fascism? Well, everyone's against fascism, right? But yeah, that's not really what that organization does. I think they think it does, but in reality, it's not at all. It's actually very pro-fascist. And the same thing can be said for this Center for Countering Digital Hate. I went through and I actually have the letter that was sent. So rather than just reading a headline, let's take a look at this letter here. I write on behalf of my client, X Corp, which operates the Twitter platform. It has come to our attention that you and your organization, the Center for Countering Digital Hate, has made a series of troubling and baseless claims that appear calculated to harm Twitter generally and its digital advertising business specifically. CCDH regularly posts articles making inflammatory, outrageous, and false or misleading assertions about Twitter and its operations, which CCDH holds out to the general public as supported by, quote, research. CCDH fixes this label on its outlandish conclusions about Twitter despite failing to conduct or even attempt anything resembling a rigorous design process, analytical procedures, or peer review that a reasonable person would expect to accompany research products published by any reputable organization. For example, last month, the CCDH posted an article claiming that Twitter fails to act on 99% of Twitter Blue accounts tweeting hate. This claim was purportedly based on new research showing that Twitter fails to act on 99% of hate posted by Twitter Blue subscribers, suggesting the platform is allowing them to break rules with impunity and is even algorithmically boosting their toxic tweets. Review of the article reveals that this, quote, research was limited to tasking staff to report 100 individual tweets as violations of Twitter's rules, and then check whether those tweets had been removed 4 days later. Let's see. The claims in the article are false, misleading, or both. They're not supported by anything that could credibly be called research. The article provides no methodology for selecting or testing of these tweets, no baseline of Twitter's enforcement timeframe, no explanation as to why the 100 chosen tweets represent an appropriate sample of the nearly 500 million tweets sent per day, from which they generalize about the platform's content moderation practices. So, yeah, I think that that's pretty clear. The assertion by X is that this is nothing but an organization that is attempting to have a negative influence on their reputation and also on their advertisers. You would expect that some kind of quote-unquote research would provide the methodology that they use, provide some kind of, explaining how they went about their research, why they chose certain things. Is it peer-reviewed? Is it open to review? And none of this seems to be the case with this organization. But this think tank does have the name, the Center for Countering Digital Hate. So, by modern 2023 logic, right? If you're against countering digital hate, you must be in favor of digital hate, right? Are you hip to this game yet? I think I'm going to follow this story and see where it leads, because I have had issues with this organization in the past, and I'm kind of waking up to their nonsense. This is not a nonpartisan think tank, right? At all. And clearly, there's a political agenda here. So, anyway, that's what we have about that. Next story, let's talk about the good old USA and its new credit rating. Did you hear about the U.S. credit rating downgrade? It's like a bad breakup with a credit agency. They say it's not you. It's your ballooning national debt and lack of governance. Ouch. So Senator Joe Manchin criticized the downgrade of the U.S. credit rating from AAA to AA+ as a failure of leadership by both parties. He blames the nation's high debt on lack of cooperation between Republicans and Democrats and President Joe Biden. Manchin urges bipartisan action to address the debt and restore the credit rating. He's considering a third-party presidential run and will announce his re-election decision later. Look, the U.S. had its credit rating drop. This is not the first time it's happened. It's happened before, maybe about a dozen years ago. And at the time, it was like, we're dropping it because of the national debt. And I think now it's, more than triple what it was then. So, yeah, another drop in credit rating. It's still very, very good. But this is a sign that things aren't as rosy as Bidenomics would like us to believe, right? Bidenomics, everything is great, Inflation, you're not seeing any. Sure, it went up for a while, but it's not going up as much now. So we should all celebrate. We should all celebrate that everything became so expensive, and the credit rating of the United States is going down the toilet. Hey, it's not like we're going to have to worry about losing reserve currency status in the world or other organizations not including us in their trade organizations and new currencies. It's not like any of that's happening this month either. So, yeah. Anyway. I don't know. Hard to say anything positive about this, but it is what it is. I don't know. I'm not necessarily a fan of Joe Manchin, but I'll agree with him on this, right? And who do you think him running as a third party is going to hurt more? Let me know in the comments, and I'll check that out in the after show. Anyway, let's speaking of Apple, we got another story here. Yeah. Looks like Russia found a unique solution to tackle fake news. Fines. You see, they don't have agents secretly running their social media companies like certain other countries. So they had to get creative, and you know it's serious when they target Apple and Wikipedia. Apple paused sales in Russia, but now they're just paying the price for keeping things on the shelf. But hey, at least they're trying something new. Who knows? Next, they may start sending sternly worded emails to Mark Zuckerberg. Good luck with that, Russia. So Russia fined both Apple and Wikipedia for not removing alleged fake news about Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine. Apple was fined a whopping 400,000 rubles, which is about 4,000 euro, for not deleting material on Apple Podcasts, while Wikipedia was fined 3 million rubles. That was around 29,000 euro for the same offense. This is the first time Apple has been fined for this issue, while Wikipedia Foundation, the owner of Wikipedia, has been fined multiple times before in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Apple's previously halted product sales in the country and limited Apple Pay services last year. So why can I never get the chyrons right? Man. So yeah, Russia has to sue social media companies to get them to change what they're doing. Unlike the U.S. that can just ask their employees in the FBI and State Department that are working at X and Google and YouTube and Facebook and whatnot. And most of the time, our social media companies just comply, and they just go along with our State Department's bidding. But see, Russia doesn't have access to our social media like that, so they got to find them. Do what you want. It's interesting. I find it very interesting. I looked for a number of different stories on this from different outlets to find out exactly what was the information that they had a problem with. And shockingly, our Western media didn't say what the fake news was. I wonder why that was. Because I would like to know. I mean, if there's something that Russia's claiming is fake, but Apple is saying it is not fake, I would like to know, what is that story? You know, I'd like to look at that story and, you know, maybe Russia is wrong. Maybe this article is absolutely true. And it should be on Wikipedia. It should be on Apple Podcasts. But it's like the media doesn't want us to look into that story. Interesting. That's all I'll say about that. Interesting. Anyway, I've got an update about Niger. Oh, you know, folks, it's a crazy world out there. President Biden's calling for the release of the Nigerian President Bazoum. And I got to ask you, do you think all the Biden handlers are extra nervous every time Biden mentions Niger? Yeah. Oh, President Biden called for the release of Nigerian President Bazoum expressing concern over the military takeover. The U.S. is diplomatically working to restore Bazoum to power, but has not yet designated it a coup. Non-essential personnel and families were evacuated, but the embassy remains open and troops are still in Niger. So that's just a little update on that. It's funny, and not funny. I don't know, ironic funny, odd funny. Anytime we talk about Niger, I do have a theory on when President Bush in 2003, in his State of the Union address, I believe rather than him mentioning yellow cake uranium in Niger, I think his speechwriter was like, we can't trust him to say this word. Let's just make it Africa, right? I don't know though, you know, but I don't know. Interesting stuff. But yeah, we'll just have to see, you know, who's going to be running this country in the future. Will it be Bazoum? What a fun name. What a fun name. I kind of like it. I think it's a little too close to Bazoum, right? Like Bazooms, right? But Bazoum, kind of a fun name. I mean, maybe I could be Tom Bazoum. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, we need some good news, so let's get to the good news of the day. Why settle for a 4x4 when you can eco-roll on an 18x18 ATV? It's like bringing a tank to a mud wrestling match. There's a Finnish company called 18 Wheels. It's created an eco ATV with a unique patented suspension using 18 wheels designed to avoid soil disturbance. It outperforms regular ATVs and is environmentally friendly, or so they say. The second prototype is being built with a planned presentation in October of this year and sales starting next spring at an estimated price of 20 grand. The ATV can handle obstacles over 8 inches, adapt to different tasks and equipment, and is suitable for all terrains and weather conditions. So this looks pretty cool. Looks like a mix of a snowmobile, right, and a four-wheeler ATV. But, you know, just watching it go over obstacles, pretty awesome. You know, I don't think you'd have a much bumpier ride on an ATV, and they're saying that it doesn't disturb the ground nearly as much as like a four-wheel ATV. So that's kind of good news. New tech, right? Let's throw out all the old, throw out all your old four-wheelers. Let's all buy new ATVs. See what I did there? Anyway, that's all the news I have for you today. Stick around the after show. I'll go through all your comments. If you like the show, hit the like button. Share it with someone. I'd appreciate that. And tomorrow is Friday. The expert fact checker will be here on Friday tomorrow for all your fact-checking needs. Until then, peace. Boom! Aftershow. Welcome, everyone. Everyone. Now, I do see we got more viewers than we do likes. You can hit that like button. You can. It mean a lot to me. Anyway. Duggo's checking in on Rumble. What's up, Duggo? Nice to see you. OX_00. If you are against anti-hate think tanks, then you must be a hater. Boom. That's logic. Biden, Niger, please. You know, that's a good joke. It is a tricky joke, though. You know, we're getting near the edge there. Lucid Moments checking in on YouTube. Let's see. Just did the gym, then 5K in the rain. It's now hot shower, cold beer, Tom. Nice. Sounds like a pretty good day already. 5K in the rain. I salute you. Today's Margarita Thursday. Yes, thank you for the reminding. Margarita Thursday. We're going to make that a thing. I don't have my margarita, but I should make a note of that. Let's make Margarita Thursday a thing. Didn't hear an echo. Okay, well, I was hearing an echo. So at the beginning of the show, perhaps it was just me. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going out to you. So, yeah. Good Dog Coconut. I've got about 500 CDs for a player I haven't used since I got satellite TV. Yeah, it's 500 CDs, man. Do you have one of those old changers? You know, the CD changer? It is... You could probably find one really cheap now. Really cheap you could. But, yeah, I still have a bunch of CDs in those books. You know, you'd put them in the books, and I have the CDs that I have not used in years. I need to just toss them. You know, make sure that there aren't some things in there that are not available, because that happens sometimes. I do think you should try to save your media if you can, because sometimes things disappear. I'll give you an example. One of my favorite shows is Intelligence, and it was a Canadian show. It had 2 seasons, but it also had a like a movie pilot episode, like a 90-minute pilot episode, and it has been off and on available on different things, on Prime or on Netflix or whatever. But the pilot episode is not available streaming anywhere that I can find. It's just not available at all. And at one time I had it, digital media, I had it, and I no longer have it. And I really wish I did. I really wish I did. And so, you know, I think if we can, we gotta save things if we can, if we care about them, right? If we care about them. If we don't, like most CDs, you can just toss them, and they're all available now. Anyway, the supporting materials that go with the old tech. Yeah, exactly. I counted 3 old phones in the drawer. Yeah, you know, sometimes it's good to have a backup, phone. But one of the problems with a backup phone is once it becomes outdated, it's not really a backup anymore. You know, one of the reasons that I did keep the iPhone that I have is I could use it with my drone, right? And so that was one of the reasons. But probably should have sold it while it had a little bit more value. So I missed the boat on that. I'm not sure how 20 wheels is less impact than 4 or 18 wheels. Well, and as Alenduril, gonna have to learn how to say that name. I'll Google it afterwards. Well, the weight is just spread out more. So it's like, just think of a bed of nails, right? A bed of nails, you can lie on a bed of nails because your weight is distributed amongst the hundreds of nails there. So in any particular place, it's not that, you're not pressing down as hard. So if I'm on a bed of nails of, let's just say, 230 nails, right? And I'm 230 pounds, right? So each nail would only be having about a pound of pressure on it. I guess that's my super oversimplified explanation as to that. So yeah, the 18-wheeler is not going to have as big an impact as 4 wheels. That's just physics. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I'll be back tomorrow with a fact check. It is Fact Check Friday, so join me for that. That's it. Have an awesome day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.